Hi, everyone. Sean Gilliam here with Location Real Estate. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Real Estate on the Front Range. In this episode, I'm covering the most recent market data as we look at our first month of 2026, just to see how the market is trending here in Northern Colorado and give you an idea of what to expect as we come into the new year. If you're getting an email from me with a link to this report, I'm also going to give you a link to my 2026 real estate market forecast. In it, I take a close look at a lot of important or major real estate economists, whether it be Redfin or Zillow or a couple others, and get an idea of what their perspective is based on the data and what they think is going to happen in 2026, such as mortgage interest rates, home sales, those kinds of things. And then I'll also take a look at local data to give us an idea of what we can expect here in Colorado based on our local economy and the kind of the pattern of how the data is trending. So look for that link for my 2026 real estate market forecast. And then without further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at our most recent data for Boulder, Larimer, and Weld counties. All right, well, let's go ahead and start with mortgage interest rates. As of today, this is January 15th, we're looking at a 6.04% interest rate for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. And that is good. We have not seen a number that low in quite some time. Last year at this time, we were above 7%. So we've seen a steady trend with interest rates going lower into the lower sixes here towards the last quarter of 2025. And the forecasters think that we're going to be staying in this range about 6.3% on average for the remainder of this year. So that is good. I think what's going to happen, we saw more activities with buyers or more activity from buyers towards the end of the year because of those lower interest rates. And I expect that we'll continue to see that trend increase as we get here further on in 2026. So that's a 30-year fixed rate. Let's take a look at the 15-year. That is 5.5% as of today. 30-year jumbo, 6.34%. Let's see, the 30-year FHA is 5.7%, and the 30-year VA is 5.72%. Now, these are averages. When you go to get pre-approved, they're going to take a lot of other details about your situation into consideration, including your debt-to-income ratio, credit scores, all sorts of different things that they're going to take a look at and what type of loan you're using to let you know what kind of rate you qualify for. So, but these are the averages to give you an idea. And of course, they're trending downward. So that means buyers are going to have a better opportunity to get a lower rate and have more purchasing power when it comes to buying a home. And when you pair that with the fact that we're still seeing homes sit on the market for a while and we're still seeing price drops from sellers, they're often in a position to negotiate, whether it's paying points toward a rate buy down or doing a price reduction, what have you. It's a good opportunity with these lower rates for you buyers to get out there and purchase a home. I would also say that as we're getting into the spring market, that sellers have a good opportunity. With more buyer activity means more opportunity for sellers to get their homes sold. So be prepared for that. And I always offer my consultation for you to you for free, so that you can get an idea of what you can do to get your home ready to sell in the market. The trend right now is that homes that are turnkey ready or move-in ready, that don't require a lot of updates or anything like that, those are the ones that are selling faster, generally speaking. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at our year-over-year data. We'll start here with Boulder County. As you can see, the number of new listings for December's data is slightly down from last year at this time. So 114 new listings in Boulder County for December. That's down 0.9% from last year. Pending sales are at 163, and that's up almost 8% compared to last year. Again, I think that's because of the interest rates that we're seeing that activity. The number of closed sales is at 234. That's up 0.9%. I expect that number will be higher when we get into January, just because we're seeing more buyers coming on the market with those lower rates. Days on market until sale is still fairly high at 79. It's down 2.5% from last year at this time. Median sales price is $785,000, and that's down almost 8% from last year at this time. And our average sales price is at $977,111, and that is down 1.4% from last year at this time. Percent of list price received is 97.5%. That is up 0.1%. And then our inventory of homes for sale is 519, and that's up 4.8% from last year at this time. And our month supply of inventory is 2.0, or 2 month supply of inventory. So that's on par with what it was last year at this time. A little note on that. Real estate is a hyper-local market. So, and what I mean by that is that even though month supply of inventory is 2 months, a balanced market is 6 months. So it still shows favor for sellers. However, some neighborhoods, some areas, some homes, it's a case-by-case basis, have a seller that's been sitting on the market for a while and they want to sell their home. Some are willing to wait it out and some are in a more desperate situation and they have to move. And so even though by the numbers it's a seller's market, you can find situations where it feels more like a buyer's market with the way buyers and sellers are negotiating. So again, it's a case-by-case basis. So take that month supply of inventory figure with a grain of salt. All right, Larimer County. New listings, 235. That's up 7.3% from last year at this time. Pending sales are at 251. That's down 1.6% from last year. Closed sales are at 359. That is up 1.4% from this time last year. And then our days on market until sale, 87. That's up 7.4% from last year at this time. Median sales price in Larimer County is $575,000. That is down 0.2%, so about the same. And then our average sales price in Larimer County is $647,728, and that is down 2.2%. Percent of list price received is at 98.4%, and that is up 0.1% from last year. Our inventory of homes for sale in Larimer County is 904. That's up 17.3% from last year at this time. And then our month supply of inventory is 2.4, and that is up 9.1% from last year. And then we get into Weld County. We can see that the number of new listings is at 271. That is down 21.7% from last year at this time. Our pending sales are at 302. That's down 5.3% from last year. Closed sales are at 396, and that is up 11.5%. Would seem to indicate that because of the lower rates, we've had more activity in Weld County significantly. The days on market until sale is 79. That is up 5.3% compared to last year. And then our median sales price is at $500,000, and that's down 6.2% from last year at this time. Our average sales price is at $554,827. That's down 5.2%. And our percent of list price received is 98.7%, and that's down 0.3%. Inventory of homes for sale is 1,075, and that's up 3.2%. And then our month supply of inventory is 2.5 for Weld County, and that's down 3.8%. And then I want to jump over real quick to what our month over month data is looking at. These are for residential, detached, or single family homes. And as we can see here, this is looking out 3 years. We can see that I'm going to go to average sales price. I like that metric better. Our average sales price in Boulder County went down a little bit, and it's slightly down for Larimer and Boulder counties, or Larimer and Weld counties. Some of that can be a result of various things. That just shows that more buyers are out purchasing less expensive homes, which, with our affordability issue here in Northern Colorado, that makes sense. And then also it factors in with the seasonal. This time of year, we see those average sales prices going down because a lot of people are not out buying homes, especially the more expensive ones. Number of new listings. We see that trend trending downward. That is typical, I should say. If you take a look here, last December, we reached the bottom, and then it slowly started trending upwards. So new listings start to take off here in January, February, and March. They peak in about May, and then they start to go down in the fall and again bottom here in December. So it's following the seasonal changes, so that's not a surprise. We'll take a look at the number of homes for sale. We can see overall in the last 3 years that there's more homes on the market for 2025, especially in July. But then that tapers off as we get into the fall and in the winter. And again, they typically bottom out come December. We can see that happened in 2024 and then again in 2023. So typical trends. The number of homes under contract, we can see that dwindles here or goes down as we get into the fall and December. And again, that makes sense. A lot of people are very active in the spring market and in the summer. And then come the fall and winter, people pull back. They got kids at school. The holidays are coming. And so we see less buyer activity out there. Doesn't mean there aren't any, just less than what we might see in a spring market, for instance. Number of closed sales, we did see an uptick in December for all three counties. And again, I think that's representative of the fact that we had more buyers out there purchasing homes because of those lower interest rates. So a lot of buyers got out there and took advantage of that. Percent of original list price received, that's kind of tapering off, mildly going lower. And that's just an indication that homes have been sitting on the market a while. So it's a really good time. You got sellers who are sitting around and maybe a little more motivated to sell, and you've got buyers that are getting lower interest rates. So it's a good opportunity again for buyers. And then we'll go to the days on market until sale, and that's overall trending upward. A little bit of a downtick for Boulder County, but again, that's more reflective of a slower market that we see going into the fall and winter. And then the month supply of inventory, that is going down. Again, that follows the seasonal pattern. Usually in December, it bottoms out and then it starts to go up. So that means there's more homes coming on the market here to be expected if the trend continues for 2026. And then the number of showings it takes, the average number of showings it takes to go under contract is going up. And that's, again, is just an indication that the market is slow. That's typical for December. We should start to see that number go down as we get into the spring market. And then the number of showings per listing is also kind of mildly trending sideways and downwards. Again, representative of overall less buyer activity, but we have seen an uptick in buyer purchasing. So again, good opportunity for buyers right now. And then sellers should see their opportunity here starting later on this month and into the spring. So that is the data for Boulder, Larimer, and Weld counties. I hope this information was helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. Remember, real estate is hyper-local. So if you wonder what your neighborhood is doing, your block is doing, or how much your home is worth, that kind of thing, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'd be glad to talk with you, give you an idea of what you might be able to get for your home. Or if you want to sell it sometime this spring, what you can do to get it ready so that it'll attract more buyers. Look forward to talking to y'all soon. Don't hesitate to get in touch. Take care. Real quick, I wanted to add in as well, just a public service announcement. I had one client get in touch with me saying that I texted her and said I was with Keller Williams, and that it was my assistant reaching out to them to get information to update my file. Just to let you know, I don't do that. I don't work for that brokerage, or even if they mention the current brokerage I'm in, I would never reach out and ask for information to update my files. It's just not something I do. If I reach out to you, it's because I'm giving you information and trying to help you out as far as the market is concerned. So just beware of that. Don't respond to those texts or phone calls. Delete them, report them, even better, so that we can put the kibosh on those fraudulent activities.